and Chemungha. We're underway from Dayton. Malachi Smith, Nate Santos, and Dayton coming off a victory against Capital, but without a few players in that game, as Santos feeling that physicality early, and a good contest and a stop for the Aggies.
Yeah, but I like going to Santos early, trying to get him into the offensive flow. Kind of started off the season slow, got it going from beyond the arc last game. He is a key contributor for this Flyers team, and they're going to need his offense tonight.
Christian Cook gives it to Chemungha. Right side, this is Robert Carpenter going inside to Emmanuel. Had it poked away by Santos. The shot clock didn't go off, but it's at 0. And now our officials able to recognize that as Brian O'Connell blows his whistle, and it'll be a turnover. Just look at some of the numbers here. And Mexico State, 3 wins to start the season, but it's been kind of a roller coaster ride. They've had they've been able to get out the big leads, but their last time out, they were able to just squeak by. Texas A&M Corpus Christi went in 83-82. But Brooks, you highlighted that this is a group that can get it done on the glass.
Yeah, they get it done on the glass, but they're also very physical, offensively and defensively. And you saw it right there. They're only giving up 22 points in the first half in their first 3 games. So that shows you they come out locked in, high energy, ready to go, but something has been happening as they go into the second half because they're giving up 42 points a game. So Dayton understands that. They know that this New Mexico State team is very aggressive. It's all over the scouting report. You got to meet and match their physicality because they're going to try to bully you.
We got a shot clock issue as Brian O'Connell over at the scores table. And no, we went to 0, but we never heard the horn. And right now, they're trying to get the game clock situated. Brooks, going back to your days of wearing the jersey, you're so amped up. It's game night. You throw that ball up. Then press pause. It's got to be frustrating.
Oh, it's very frustrating, right? You 1 minute into the game, 50 seconds of the game, and you're ready to roll. The energy is high in the building, and then you get a 3-minute break waiting on them to figure out what's going on with the shot clock. But but getting back to kind of, they're sending them back to their benches again. But getting back to the emphasis of this game, one thing to watch: New Mexico State has a size advantage, a physicality advantage. That first action right there that you saw them, they tried to get a cross-screen action, get Dayton to switch, and Nate Santos got caught in the post on a big, strong post player. So pay attention to how it looks like New Mexico's going to try to go inside early. Pay attention to how Dayton guards that, if they're going to switch, if they're going to trap, because New Mexico State knows they have the advantage inside.
The horn works, and we're ready to get back to basketball.
Is that what they were doing?
Yeah, that was it.
Jeez.
Because it hit 0, the horn didn't sound, and all right, back to business. Let's go. Dayton coming up empty on their first trip. New Mexico State, a turnover to start. Let's see what the second trip holds for both these teams.
Now listen, Alex, this should be a fun, fast-paced game. Both these teams like to get up and down the court. Dayton's averaging close to 80 points a game. New Mexico State is over 80 points a game. They're going to look to pressure you and get out transition as well, so this should be a fun, fast-paced game.
Javon Bennett led the Flyers their last time out. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Here he is sizing up a 3. Off the mark. Rebound comes to Carpenter.
Good action right there for the Flyers. A dribble handoff that allowed Malachi to turn the corner, get into that paint, found the open teammate like he always does. Bennett just couldn't get it to go.
Well, Javon Bennett has sort of struggled shooting the basketball early here in the season, but found his form on Saturday night against the Capital Commons. Sadi Jackson saves the possession. 3-ball from Carl Sherifant, transfer from Memphis. Dayton back the other way. Malachi in the paint, dump off. Zed Key at the rim, and he was fouled. He'll shoot 2.
And you saw how quickly Dayton got up the court. Long rebound. Nate Santos pushed the ball, a kick ahead. And, of course, they get the ball to Malachi Smith and allow him to make something happen. He gets it to the lane and finds an open Zed Key. Almost was able to complete the and-1.
The other night, the first question to Coach Grant in the press conference was the status of Zed Key, Enoch Cheeks, and Posh Alexander. Coach Grant said he was fine. Everything was fine with those guys. Just wanted to give them rest and, more importantly, look at a few different combinations for some guys that haven't been able to see the minutes yet this year.
Yeah, it was a little rest for those guys, and it did get guys that normally didn't play a lot of minutes some extended minutes. You know, there's no teacher like experience, so it was good to see some of those guys deep on the bench get some extended playing time.
Zedke's been outstanding for the foul line this season, but comes up empty on that trip. Sherfont at the rim, and he scores it off the square. This is a guy who is a top 80 recruit out of high school. Just didn't find the floor at Memphis, but this is a big get for New Mexico State.
Yeah, huge get. You saw right there. Strong physical player. 2 dribbles to the basket, exploded to the rim. That's what they want to do.
Javon Bennett another 3, and this time he's able to cash it in, and Dayton, their first lead.
Yeah, and listen, one thing that he does not lack is confidence. I mean, you talk about his struggles early on in the season, but you wouldn't know it the way that he shoots the basketball. He feels every shot is going down. Now that basketball's starting to drop a little bit for him, he's going to be dangerous.
Chimanga. Give it up to Sherfont, get it back. Manuel to the hoop. Too strong. Rebound comes to Malachi Smith. Javon Bennett. Nate Santos working baseline. Really good defense there by Sherfont.
Well, it was good defense by the whole team in terms of transition defense. We talked about it. Dayton is going to want to get out in transition to find the open man. New Mexico State, and so far in this game, has done a great job getting back and not giving up easy looks.
First foul against Emmanuel Chimanga as he was tying up with Zedke. Emmanuel Chimanga, this is cool. A lot of Flyer fans know Jordy Chimanga, but he has got 2 brothers on this squad in New Mexico State in their first years at NMSU. As Dayton throws it away, and Christian Cook has got the rock. He's fouled by Javon Bennett.
And the Chimanga genes are strong. Because, you know, Jordy, when he played here in Dayton, 6'10", and he has a 6'10" brother and a 7-footer on this team.
Not sure if Jordy's able to watch this game live, as he is playing basketball this year over in Taiwan. But a proud moment. He even put it out on social media earlier today about his little brothers playing at his alma mater. Christian Cook, this guy can shoot it, and he gets New Mexico State a bucket.
Yeah, and he's all over the scouting report as a lights-out shooter. You know, but what makes him dangerous is he's not afraid to put the basketball on the ground. He has a very good 1 or 2 dribble pull-up game as well.
Oh, this is a tough foul. And Emmanuel Chimanga, I think, is going to have to go to the bench as he was reaching over the top. And his brother is going to come on, and Nate Zedke will go off, and Amael Latong will come in. So both teams making changes in the paint.
Latong is a very interesting matchup because he can stretch the floor. He's comfortable playing on the perimeter as well, so he'll look for him to pull Chimanga away from the rim, which then opens up driving lanes for Dayton to get to the basket.
Enoch Cheeks missing long. Rebound came out long to Carpenter, and Sherfont wants to run. Good defense as that's ripped away by Javon Bennett. It'll stay with the Aggies.
And it was good defense, but risky defense, right? Javon Bennett already has 1 foul right there. It got away, he made a good play, but you know, that's one where you just show your hands, give up the 2 if you have to. You don't want to get in foul trouble and put your team in detriment.
Zadi Jackson to the cup. Tough.
That's tough. Listen, that's what they want to do. They've got guys that can shoot the basketball, but they are physical and very athletic. They want to get to that paint, make tough contested finishes at the rim.
This is the start that Coach Hooten wanted. His team up by 4. Malachi Smith downhill, dump off. Latong will be at the line when we return. Aggies on top early.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of been the theme so far. They just haven't been able to be effective at the free throw line as they're now 0 for 4. But great hustle right there by Enoch Cheeks, saving the possession for his team. But yeah, obviously, especially as the schedule starts to get tighter, you're going to have to make those free throws. You just can't leave points out there.
Dayton enters the night shooting 63% from the foul line. Quite a few changes as Posh Alexander has returned for the Flyers. Meanwhile, for the Aggies, it's Peter Filipovich and Deontay Bostic. Bostic led them in scoring their last time out, 13 points for the transfer out of Cal State Northridge. Started his career at Murray State. 5 to shoot. Malachi Smith's got to go. Tough shot and a shot clock violation as Bostic with Malachi step for step.
So what you're seeing right now is Dayton's trying to figure out this New Mexico State defense. So they're very aggressive. They've got a lot of length. They get to the passing lanes, push you away from the basket. So right now Dayton's trying to figure out where they're going to be able to find the soft spot in the defense.
Bostic taking over those point guard duties. This is Nate Chimanga. Hand off, Cook. Great action. And it's a foul on Malachi Smith. He thought he got all ball, but instead it'll be Chimanga at the line shooting 2.
Yeah, great action, like you said, right there, that dribble handoff. Just a beautiful dribble handoff into a little brush screen. Chimanga goes to the basket. Good hands by Chimanga right there. And Malachi Smith thought he got all ball, but that's going to be the challenge right there. The New Mexico State bigs they're physical and they roll to the basket and they're big targets. You know, so figuring out how they're going to rotate and being that weak side help is going to be key for Dayton.
Johnny Jackson returns. Also, Jaden Harris will come into this game. For New Mexico State, I mentioned all the transfers, and Chimanga brothers are a part of that. As Nate started at Troy, went to Utah Valley, and now playing out this last year as Enoch Cheeks throws it away on the baseline. Harris to Filipovic. He misses from in close. Posh Alexander takes it away. And Malachi Smith with the chaos, able to finish on the other end.
Well, and it just shows you why Posh Alexander was voted to the defensive team, because of his hands. Just a quick strip right there and then getting out in transition. Dayton is so tough in the transition game. Just a quick, easy layup. They need to get more of those. Dayton doesn't want to play a half-court game. They want to make this thing fast-paced and get out and go.
3-ball Harris in and out. Rebound, poked around, and finally a foul. As this will go against either Filipovic or Chimanga. And a lot of fouls in that last game between New Mexico State and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Foul goes against Chimanga. There were 48 whistles in that contest. Two-point game. Dayton trying to tie it up, maybe take the lead. Latong, a good catch and finish as Javon Bennett picks up the assist.
Well, if you've listened to us on any other the Dayton broadcast, you've heard us talk about how high the staff is on Latong, just his natural ability. He just does things that guys his size, especially at that age, shouldn't be able to do right there. Go up and get it, good hands, just really good awareness for him.
Bostic, fake and make. Showed on that three-point try and then put it on the deck. Jacob Connor the other way and a two-hand jam.
Right, and you know, Coach Grant was probably upset about giving up a straight line drive basket, but what he loved about it was they didn't hang their heads. They got it off the baseline quick. Nice kick-ahead pass, Posh Alexander to Connor.
Posh Alexander was one of those other Flyers that didn't see action Saturday. Filipovic misses the baseline, but he looks good here tonight. A couple of really nice assists. Nate Santos wants a triple off the front rim.
That's just a great look right there. Just Nate Santos, one of the better shooters on his team, catching it in rhythm, and you live with that all the time. You gotta give Dayton credit though. So, you know, New Mexico State is tied for 16th in the country. As you see Javon Bennett getting out in that passing lane, the tough finish at the rim. But you know, one thing that Dayton is doing really well is keeping New Mexico State off the offensive glass. Right, they're 16th and tied for 16th in the country. Offensive rebounds per game at about 17 per game right now. They have 0. That means Dayton is meeting their physicality. They're limiting second chance opportunities.
Jason Hooten is going to hope his team finds something on the glass, but also taking care of the basketball. Zadi Jackson has it denied by Latong. Bounce pass ahead, just misses Connor, but Jacob ran it down. Posh Alexander reverse too strong, but the hustle is there for the Flyers right now.
Yeah, you love the hustle. Posh Alexander, sometimes basketball players make it a little too difficult where he had a simple layup, but you love the hustle that led to that opportunity. They're gonna need more hustle plays like that.
Bostic with 10 to shoot, gives to Jackson. Cross-court pass, Harris will attack. Got a whistle and a foul. This is going against Javon Bennett. And that'll be his second. All right, breaking the action. Timeout, Dayton's got the lead. We got a good one on a Wednesday night.
Extended minutes, but most importantly, they got through that game healthy. That's one of those games you just don't want to come out with a big injury that really affects your team.
A big foul going to break. It was Javon Bennett picking up his second, and what a great start for him. 5 points, an assist, and a steal. Here missing inside Chimunga, but good hands by Carpenter. However, Alexander able to save it for UD. And Hamad Musa, a three-pointer. Wide open look, unable to convert.
Yeah, but you like the defensive effort on the other end. You know, straight line drive, but then you had Zed Key right there that just went straight up. It's a rule of verticality. He was able to, you're able to jump and make contact as long as you jump straight up. Good contest there. And then Dayton was able to fight for the possession. Just couldn't get it to fall. The wide open look on the other end.
Zadi Jackson, kick out, Bostic. He sizes up a long ball and a whistle and a foul on the miss. This is going against New Mexico State.
Tough drive there by Jackson. That's a tough drive and a beautiful kick out. He averages 5 assists a game. But what you notice, we talked about one of the keys of the game were the box outs and then gang rebound, rebounding as a unit. Great box out by Dayton and then way to attack the glass. Again, holding New Mexico from 0 offensive rebounds so far, and we've talked about it. They are one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. Almost through 10 minutes played, 9 minutes played with no offensive rebounds. That is sticking to the game plan.
It's a big foul for the Aggies, though, as both Chimunga brothers now on the bench with 2 fouls. And coming on will be Edward Namoko as Posh Alexander to the rim.
Yeah. Posh Alexander has come out aggressively. From the time he got off the bench to when he stepped on the court, he has been in attack mode on both ends. He's gotten his hands on several basketballs on the defensive end, some deflections, some strips, and then on the offensive end, he's attacking, putting his head down, getting to the lane, and then making the right plays after that.
It's a 6-0 run for the Flyers. Aggies have not scored in over 3 minutes. Pick and roll action, and a 12-footer from Namoko off the mark. Dayton able to collect it, and we got a whistle and a foul. And right now, Zed Key's getting beat up.
He's getting beat up, but that's what he does. You know, we talk about it often. Right here, as you see Posh Alexander just turn that corner. Nice athletic finish. Might even have got fouled there, but Zed Key is so physical on his post-ups. Right, he just makes you fight him to hold his position. He makes you fight to try to get around. Oftentimes, it leads to guys picking up fouls, just trying to fight him for position.
Well, Zed Key's going to be at the line as Dayton is already in the 1-and-1. It's a 17th foul against the Aggies. Flyers bring back on Nate Santos and Enoch Cheeks. And Key, who came in to the contest, 18 of 21 from the free throw line, 0 for 3 here to start.
And as a team, Dayton is 0 for 5 from the line so far.
Zadi Jackson. Whistle and a foul, and it will be Jackson at the line with 2 free throws.
And Coach Grant didn't like that call, but you know, the concerning things you see Jackson get downhill. What you saw was a straight line drive there. It's really hard to help when you allow the opponent to get downhill in a straight line. And Coach Grant might have had a case there. It looked like Santos was over in time, kind of extended his hands, but ref thought otherwise.
Well, I mentioned the size of New Mexico State, but the thing also for Zadi Jackson, this is probably the biggest team that he has faced. And what an amazing story. This is a guy that started at Division II and a couple of bumps along the way and a coaching change. Ended up kind of losing his spot. Went the junior college route only to get back into Division II basketball. Was an All-American a year ago, and here he is as a senior, finally getting his chance at the Division I level, and he has played so well for them.
Yeah, he's making the most of his chance. I mean, he is the point person for this team. He has to play well for them to win big games, but you can see how he's so effective.
Oh!
And that move was nasty. Zed Key with the quick footwork, spin to the baseline, and of course we all know he's an explosive jumper with the aggressive finish. You know, but back to Jackson, just you can see why he's effective. He's shifty, he's strong, he's explosive, then he has good vision. Right there, as you see, He's making a play for his team right there. Just couldn't knock it down.
Carpenter misses. Dayton running. Cheeks, Santos, splash!
Hey, listen. Nate Santos is not going to miss too many wide open shots, especially when he's able to catch in rhythm. Like,
Can say here early on, there's a lot of balance.
Yeah, a lot of balance. And you know, to your question about Nate Santos, as you see Flyers showing some full court pressure and denying the end.
But year two, they got some high hopes.
Well, yeah, because it's the transfer portal era. I mean, you can get a completely new team and rebuild teams in a season or two. So, yeah, he's a great coach, great recruiter, been in the game a long time, and you could tell this team has talent. They're going to have, New Mexico State's going to have a good season this year. They've got all the pieces, just still putting it together.
Picked to finish 7th in Conference USA. They once just dominated the WAC, but changed conference a year ago. Cherfont misses on the jumper, ball out of bounds, and right now it's been really difficult on offense for New Mexico State.
Well, that's because Dayton's an excellent defensive team, especially on the perimeter. Dayton they've got 4, we talk about a lockdown defenders on the perimeter, and then they've even got Zed Key, who is kind of the rim protector. And then Dayton is very good and quick in their rotations. It's just very hard to get easy, clean looks against this Flyer team.
Malachi Smith, Nate Santos. He's going to the bucket, finger roll.
Yeah, and what's nice about that is Nate Santos is a great shooter, but he's not afraid to put the basketball on the ground. He's not afraid to get to the cup and finish at the rim, as we saw right there.
Carpenter attacking on Smith. Count the bucket. I think Zed Key got a piece of that, but it goes in a huge basket and stopping a 7-0 run, and that's the first field goal for New Mexico State in 5.5 minutes.
Well, we talk about it. We talk about straight line drives. As you see right here, just if you allow them to get downhill, it's just hard to help. Zed Key did come over, but the help angle is too tough when you give him a straight line drive, and it's very uncharacteristic for Malachi Smith to get beat in a straight line. That's just not something he does. Just got caught off guard right there, and then unfortunately picked up a foul.
Robert Carpenter, this is amazing. He played in this building back in 2020, January 22nd. It was that Dayton squad that dominated in the Atlantic 10, won the regular season title. Number 3 in the country, didn't get a chance at the NCAA tournament because of the pandemic. But for Carpenter, he was a freshman that year at St. Bonaventure, and he has also had a journey since, but close to 5 years later, he is back in the arena in New Jersey.
It is unbelievable how long guys are in college these days, man. But you know, one thing to look at that could be a storyline right now, Javon Bennett, Malachi Smith, both with 2 fouls in this first half. And there's still a lot of time left in this half. Who's going to step up from guard?
Both teams in foul trouble. Cheeks missing on the 3. Dayton got it back, though. Enoch Cheeks looking to work way around Cherfont. Spin move, hang. Isaac Jackson in the game, and has he earned the Flyers an extra possession? He has. As we got a whistle and a foul. It's going against Carpenter. Taking a break. Dayton and Nate Santos finding a rhythm as the Flyers lead by 6. I thought we had a foul on Robert Carpenter. Not the case. They just ruled that it was off Carpenter. So it's Dayton basketball. The Flyers are already in the 1-and-1. Jacob Connor will give to Nate Santos with 5 to shoot. Santos, Cherfont, great defense. You gotta let it fly. Connor, a 3, missed it long.
Well, and you know, these two teams are both averaging upwards of around 80 points a game, and right now it's kind of a low-scoring game if you want to know why. Is because both teams are accomplishing the scout. One of the things that New Mexico State wanted to do, and be mindful, was not turn the basketball over. They average 17, 18 turnovers a game, but right now they're only sitting at 2 turnovers right now. Dayton, on the other hand, have done a great job keeping them off the offensive glass. New Mexico State out-rebounds their opponent through the first 3 games by 16 a game. But right now, Dayton has held them to 0 offensive rebounds. So both teams are executing their scouting report, but that's what's leading to both teams' struggles.
Cherfont, 3rd turnover of the game as he stepped on the baseline. Dayton lobs in to Isaac Jack. He's not missed a field goal on the year. Jacob Connor, a three, no. Rebound, though. Isaac Jack, he's just putting in the work. As he doesn't get credit for that offensive rebound, but that's two now, Brooks, that he's been able to get.
Activity, right? He's very active. Jackson, he was active last year. He's active this year. Again, you talked about it. He won't get credit for that, but he absolutely saved the possession just by being active.
Josh Alexander, 10 to shoot. Both these teams having a tough time scoring the basketball. Enoch Cheeks, 5 to shoot. Good defense by Cook. Better offense. Ho, ho, ho. A tough three from Enoch Cheeks.
Yeah, Enoch Cheeks has shown that he has a very deep bag this year. He can get to the cup, but he has shown he's very good off the dribble, especially in the pull-up game right there. Just kind of a nice little hesitation, step back three, and the shot with confidence knocked it down.
Carpenter gives to Bostic. Now Cook. Step back. Rattled out, and the rebound to Bostic. His tip, no good, but got it back. And now a loose ball, a jump ball, and the arrow stays with the Aggies.
Yeah, you love that hustle right there. Enoch Cheeks, who we know is an elite defender, did a great job sliding his feet, caused the loose basketball. And then what I loved after that, not only did he cut off the player trying to get to the basket, but then he saw the basketball was loose and got on the ground. It's those kind of effort plays.
Amaya Latong returns for UD in the 29 jersey. New Mexico State shooting 27% from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. Dayton 47%, 3 of 10 from 3. The Flyers 0 for 5 from the foul line. A block by Jacob Connor as Bostic thought he had a mismatch, not the case, and Santos throws it away on the other end, and Latong running the floor.
Well, and I'm gonna say what everyone watching is thinking. 7'1", throw it up. Don't make big fella reach down. But you love how Latong was running the court right there, and you love that Santos tried to reward him and get him the basketball.
Largest lead for Dayton, 9. Jackson sent away by Cheeks, but right there it was Carpenter, and he's able to stop a close to 3-minute scoring drought. Alexander, there's that lob. Keep it up. He was listening, Brooks. Yeah. Latong on the make.
Right, and you know, Poss Alexander, we talked about, he's in attack mode tonight. He's manipulating the pick and rolls. He's getting to the teeth of the defense, and then he's making the right play after that. And Latong, again, rolling and then showing good hands, going up and finishing.
Posh Alexander, 2 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Stop, pop, score. It's Christian Cook.
Yeah, he's comfortable doing that. I mean, he's a 40% three-point shooter, lights out three-point shooter, but he's also cool 1 or 2 dribbles. Very comfortable doing that as well.
So New Mexico State able to come up with the goods on 2 straight possessions. Nate Santos, quick 3, no. Rebound, Enoch Cheeks. Dayton, they've been the team that's been able to do it on the offensive glass.
They have. They've been very active, playing with effort and energy, showing that, you know, the will to win. It's those effort plays. Dayton right now is making more of them. And then Latong looking aggressive tonight, right there, attacking the rim, drawing the foul.
Playing against Division III Capital, he recorded not only his first start, but his first double-double, and 13 points and 10 rebounds. This guy, early in his career, he has been really solid for the Dayton Flyers.
Well, and I think as Dayton gets their first free throw to fall, and it wasn't pretty, but they'll take it. But you talk about some of the benefits from that Division III matchup against Capital the other day. I think Latong benefited from it most. He was able to play extended minutes. He was able to make mistakes and play through his mistakes. And as you said, he finished with his first career double-double, and it looks like he has carried that high confidence into this game as he's made his impact.
Really cool moment, too. He got to do it in front of family and his sister and his dad. Sister went back to France, and his dad, sticking around, is going to go out to Hawaii as Dayton goes to the Maui Invitational. 4 minutes to play here in the half. Bostic penetration. Cook. 1 dribble, 3. Yes.
Well, and again, it goes back to, and it sounds like a broken record, but it goes back to a straight line drive. Bostic got downhill, got into the lane, which forces the defense to rotate, and then nice kick out for three.
We'll come back with Hamad Musa shooting some free throws. Offense starting to pick up here. As Dayton still on top by a touchdown.
Can still be effective.
Hamad Musa at the line. Dayton now 2 of 8 from the stripe. As Anthony Grant's not going to be happy with that stat, but he will be pleased with production from his bench. As right now, Dayton a +8 in that category, as they've been able to get some help from some of the players coming off the pine.
Yeah, the bench depth has been good, and especially with Bennett and Malachi Smith playing with 2 fouls, both of them kind of in some foul trouble. But the free throw woes are wild. Now, you can't think that they'll shoot this way the entire season, but it's definitely frustrating for these Flyers to watch right now as they try to figure out how to knock them down from the line.
Enoch Cheeks, Nate Santos, 3-pointer, and a rebound pulled down by the transfer from Maine, and that being Peter Filipovic. This guy was outstanding last year for the Black Bears, averaging 14 points, 7 rebounds, working his way in the paint. Almost threw it away off the deflection from Bennett, but it comes to Harris, open 3. Yes!
And you hate that because it was actually a solid defensive possession for Dayton. Great double team, almost stole it as Javon Bennett got a deflection, but deflected it right to the New Mexico State player who was able to knock it down.
Makes it a 4-point game. Bennett will throw to Letang, corner 3, off the mark, and Mexico State able to get another stop.
Well, and New Mexico State getting the credit. Boston is kind of taking charge and running the show as Jackson's been on the bench for extended minutes. New Mexico State's chipping away.
Filipovic wants a 3. He's got one.
And just like that, you know, New Mexico State has now made 5 of their last 6 field goals. They've kind of figured out this Dayton defense. They're getting good looks, and they're starting to knock them down.
Letang. Flyers have not had a field goal in close to 3 minutes. Freshman finds a cutting Santos, who at last touch went off the preseason first-team all-conference. And Santos, so turnover, and Mexico State's got a chance to take the lead here.
Well, they do, and they're on an 8-0 run over the last minute 40. And what a quick response. You know, Dayton had extended a 9 or 10-point, 10-point lead, and why don't New Mexico State answers the call, and they did it with their floor general on the bench. And now as he comes back in the game, you know, Jackson with the basketball in his hands, Mexico State's feeling good.
Did make changes too, and Jacob Connor, Zed Key, and Posh Alexander return. Filipovic working on Key, had it blocked. Zed Key, he is excellent on both ends, and here he is on offense, and it's Namako who's able to erase it.
Yeah, great recovery by Namako. Zed Key with a quick cut to the basket and a good find by Santos, but Namako was able to recover and get the block, and then on the other end, New Mexico turns that turnover into offense.
And Christian Cook gives the Aggies the lead. Cook, one of the returners from last year, 4 returners on this squad for Coach Jason Hooten. Dayton in desperate need of a bucket. There's banging in the paint. Enoch Cheeks thought he provided that score, but erased the basket, and we got a foul underneath against New Mexico State. And actually, they're going to go to the monitor to see if Enoch Cheeks got this shot off before that foul was called.
Well, and it went from bad to worse because they waved off the made 3, and now Dayton's got to go to the free throw line. Where they don't want any part of that right now. And these free throws are huge for Zed Key because we talked about how the Aggies are on a 10-0 run. And that's how you stop runs. Get to the foul line. If shots aren't falling, and they haven't been over the last few minutes for Dayton, get to the foul line. And right there you saw Key able to convert on the first one as well as the second one.
And the Flyer faithful.
A little sarcastic there.
Bronx cheer as Dayton takes the lead back. What a fun first half. And Dayton got up 9, but New Mexico State coming right back. Filipovic to Jackson. He's been able to keep number 2 in check. This is Harris in the corner, just 5 to shoot. Jackson working on key. Difficult shot. Nate Santos had it ripped away, but a travel called by Namoko.
And
3 fouls.
you know, and Dayton definitely wants to get a good look here, and Posh Alexander's been getting downhill and making plays for others. Won't be surprised to see him get the basketball and go into a late pick and roll situation.
New Mexico State goes to zone. Cheeks,
Tough.
three-pointer no, and Jacob Connor slipped, unable to get the rebound. But it's the Flyers with the lead, but New Mexico State with the momentum. Enoch Cheeks, one of the highlights, but it has been all Aggies here as we move into halftime. Dayton 20.
We're able to get a couple offensive rebounds late in that half, which is one of the, that's their bread and butter. Now you see Malachi Smith with the basketball in their hand. Look for him, Dayton, to get him going with some pick and roll actions you see here and let him play out of that.
Enoch Cheeks looking inside to Zed Key. Chimanga with 2 fouls. Zed looking to back his way in. Good help by Carpenter, and he got the block. So New Mexico State sends a double team, and they get a stop. And they'll look for the score here to start the second half with Zadi Jackson, Christian Cook, 3-pointer. It's off the mark, rebound. Last touch the Aggies.
Well, and we talked about Dayton struggling because Malachi Smith was out and kind of had a lack of a flow. Well, Jackson, he set a good portion of that first half as well, and New Mexico State was able to kind of make that run without him in the game. So it's about other guys stepping up, making it happen for their team.
Yeah, our stars to watch as we started, they have been quiet. Nate Santos, loud and proud as he gets to the bucket.
Well, and Santos needs to do more of that. Everyone knows he can shoot. He shot it at 40% last year. Right now, he's not in rhythm, not getting to fall consistently. It'll come, but he has the ability to get to the basket, just like he's done a couple times tonight. He's strong, he's physical, he's athletic. He just needs to see the basketball go in the hole, and by getting to the basket, not just relying on the outside shot, that's how he can make that happen.
Zadi Jackson, although maybe he hasn't been able to find his groove, one thing that he's been able to do, he's gotten Malachi Smith in foul trouble, and Dayton's outstanding point guard just picked up his 3rd foul.
Well, and now Coach Grant has a decision to make, and it looks like he's going to leave Malachi out there, because we saw it in the first half. Just his presence is so important on the court, so pulling him out, it just really deflates the team. So it looks like Coach Grant's going to trust him to play with 3, at least for a little bit.
Well, Dayton had some questions of whether that was a shooting foul or not, but it'll be Zadi Jackson at the stripe. All-American at the Division II rank last year. And this is a guy who can take over a basketball game. And we saw that against Utah Tech in their first road game. He scored 24 points, 7 assists, and he had 12 points over the last 4 minutes. Utah Tech got back into the game after the Aggies were up 18. And gets a couple free throws there.
It's tough to stay in front of Jackson. He has a quick first step, and then he's got a strong build, so once he gets you on his hip, it's hard to recover.
Are you surprised Malachi Smith stays in this game? As he gets stripped here, the ball's going to stay with Dayton.
I'm not, for 2 reasons. One, Coach Grant obviously needs Malachi Smith on the court, as well as his staff. But secondly, Coach Grant knows that Malachi needs to build some confidence. He set for a really long time in the first half. You hopefully can steal some minutes, allow him to get some flow, make some plays, because you don't want him to mentally check out.
Santos working on Carpenter. It was blocked, but we got a foul. And Nate Santos will be at the line to shoot 2.
And again, we talked about it, right? It's Nate Santos has the ability to be more than just a shooter. You've seen him a couple times put the basketball on the ground, get to the hole, and then just attack the rim. He's got 6'7" with a strong build. He could do that a lot more and be effective at it.
This is the first foul against Carpenter. Santos, first trip to the foul line here tonight, and this trend for Dayton at the stripe, it's not a good one. Now 4 of 12 for the Flyers, and Santos on the year, he shot 73% from the line a year ago, 58% so far this season, but he splits the pair there.
You see Dayton right now trying to speed this game up, showing some full court press. As they like to mix it up. Sometimes they trap, but you see them jumping right here. Just trying to speed this game up and turn New Mexico State over.
And they do just that. Brooks, how hard is it when you're able to finally cross that midcourt stripe to protect the basketball? I feel like that's what pressure does sometimes, even in getting in your half-court side. Sherifant, he beat the press, but throws a wild pass out of bounds.
He does in best case scenarios, you cause a turnover, but also what pressure tries to do in speeding teams up, you want them to take quick shots. Sometimes a rushed bad shot is just like a turnover.
Smith, pick and roll. Throws in the corner to Cheeks. Fakes on it, drives it, glass, no, but he got it back.
Well, then it goes back to Malachi Smith being able to manipulate a ball screen, got into the paint, forced help, got it to Enoch Cheeks, who then made the right play out of that, getting his defender in the air and then finishing at the rim with the putback.
Jackson finds Cook off a curl. That's his game. He's terrific in the mid-range. Missed it, though, and now a whistle. And this is either against Carpenter or Chimanga. It's going against Carpenter, his second.
Well, and what won't show up in the stat sheet was the defense by Javon Bennett that you saw right there. It's so hard to guard a shooter that's coming off of the screen and they're curling because you get stuck behind him. It just takes an extra level of effort to still be able to contest a curling shooter like Javon Bennett did there. Forced a miss.
I have to apologize. It's wrong on my end. That's the third foul on Carpenter. Cheeks, triple, book it.
Listen, I don't know how you guard Enoch Cheeks because the possession before you saw him head fake from the corner, get his guy flying through the air, and he explodes and attacks the rim. And right there, then you close out short so he doesn't get to the basket. He's able to knock down the three. Carpenter,
you might not think of his build, of him being a three-point shooter. Oh. This guy's been outstanding from distance to start the season, and that's a big make, Brooks.
It's the timeliness of makes, right? Just to stop that run. Dayton was starting to build a little momentum. We're starting to put together a run. Just a big three to stop the run for New Mexico State.
Got a whistle and a foul away from the ball. Chimanga's going to pick up his third. As things starting to heat up here at the arena. Cheeks on one end and Carpenter able to answer on the other.
And that was a tough shot. That Carpenter three was highly contested by Santos. He was still able to get his fall.
So 3 players out on the floor with 3 fouls. Here's Javon Bennett. Penetration, kick. Santos, nylon.
Well, and that's what happened. So Santos put his head down, got to the basket a couple times, was able to get to the free throw line. Just start to build your confidence. And then right on cue, great pass by Bennett. Santos caught in rhythm, knocked it down.
It was sort of a rock fight in the first half. Points coming out of premium. Seeing some offense here to start the second. Cheeks on the deflection, but Sherifant able to run it down. His former squad, Memphis, going to be in Maui next week, a part of a stacked field. Jackson went out of bounds, and the Flyer faithful starting to get in this game as Dayton off the three-pointer, able to get a stop.
Yeah, great stop by Dayton, and you can see the progression. Early on in this game, Dayton kind of struggled trying to figure out how they were going to guard the screen and roll, kind of late on rotations, wasn't sure if we wanted to switch, what we wanted to do. Well, now they figured that out right there. That was a great possession, and the help was there and forced a turnover.
Dayton will give it right back, though. As a backdoor, Bennett was just unable to grab.
That's just impressive for a quote-unquote mid-major program.
Dayton and New Mexico State as we get back to action. Flyers going to throw on some full court pressure. Harris looks to advance. 21 on the clock, just gets it over in time. Malachi Smith out as got those 3 fouls. Coach Grant left him in there. Carpenter also playing with 3. Mid-range jumper, yes.
That was a tough shot by Carpenter. I mean, he's able to just rip left. Kind of took a little bit of a shot, a little bit of a bump, but he's, strong Bill was able to get his balance and knock it down.
Well, the coaches loved his offseason. They said he put in the time, the energy, and it's paying dividends on the court. And guys working on his masters at New Mexico State, shining on the floor. Posh Alexander, three-pointer. Yes! Rattles it home.
Yeah, big time answer for the Flyers, and they just continue to take efficient shots and knock them down. Posh, more known as a bulldog, as he describes himself, getting to the basket, but he can knock it down if his feet are set.
That's his first 3 as a Flyer. He's given Dayton some really good minutes tonight off the bench. Harris lost it out of bounds, and that's a little bit of a different look, Brooks, on this Dayton pressure that we saw in the first half, and New Mexico State still trying to feel their way around it.
Yeah, and that pressure is just tough. I mean, you can start to adjust to it, but it's just relentless on the perimeter. Dayton, you know, we constantly talk about it, how they have so many good perimeter defenders and just constant pressure. It's just tough to handle.
Alexander, a bullet. Bennett missed it, but the foul on Chimanga, and it was a huge make for UD and their offense. Get it back to Key. The Flyers looking inside. Is that foul number 4? It is.
I mean, it's unbelievable how many fouls that Zed Key draws just on post.
He's got 3 fouls. How about this? Zed Key has been fouled 7 times tonight. Posh Alexander, the lob. Oh my! Zed Key, 2-hand thunder.
Yeah, and you want to talk about putting some energy in this building, go ahead and throw up a lob and dunk on somebody. That'll do it real quick. And what that does, we talk about the pressure. Sometimes it's not a turnover. Sometimes it's leading to a quick shot, and that's just what happened right there.
Carpenter misses on one end. Santos on the other. Timeout, New Mexico State. Has this been his best game as a Dayton Flyer?
Yeah, easily. I mean, he's doing it on both ends of the court. 4 assists right now, 3 rebounds. And right now, he's been key to this run. He's the one that's kind of facilitating, finding those open teammates. And right now, Dayton, see, New Mexico State's in trouble because of the foul trouble we talked about. It's all of their bigs. And Dayton wants to continue to apply pressure, get to the rim. If the rim protectors aren't in there, it's going to be tough to slow them down.
5 to shoot. Namoko. Jackson, long 3, off the mark, rebound Bennett. And Dayton just wants to keep on going.
Yeah,
Jalen Simon is into the game for the first time. Redshirt freshman and the number 3 jersey for the Flyers. Zed Key, no one has been able to really keep him in front. And it's not that he's having a big game scoring the basketball.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to get through this foul trouble, but you know, you're looking at this stat right there. New Mexico State is so dominant on the glass, out-rebounding their opponents by 16 a game, but Dayton right now is controlling the glass. And then we talked about Nate Santos. He is such a high-level scorer. Early on, wasn't getting a shot to fall. We kind of talked about, love to see him get to the rim to get some momentum going. Ever since he started doing that, now he's feeling good on the outside, knocking them down.
We got a whistle and a foul with Jackson inbounding. Filipovic, they need this, and they got it.
Well, that's a great baseline underplay. They kind of just faked like they were coming together for a screen. Pop right back for a quick shot. Was able to knock it down right on time.
Posh Alexander, 5 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 0 turnovers. Here he'll give to Enoch Cheeks. Nate Santos, leading scorer in our game. It's a season high for him at 16 against Northwestern. 4 to shoot. Cheeks guarded tightly by Jackson. Enoch, step back, off the back iron, but Dayton a fresh 20.
Well, and right there, that was a lightly contested shot. Because Enoch Cheeks, he's just so explosive. Was able to create a little bit of space. He jumped so high. What would have been a tough shot for Mose. That was actually a good look for Enoch.
Dayton has made 7 of their last 9. Santos drives it, trying to put an Aggie on a poster, and New Mexico State able to get a stop. Jackson, coast to coast.
Well, and Dayton was on a 14-2 run, and right on time, New Mexico State hits a 3, comes down, gets a stop, and then Jackson puts it in transition to go on a quick 5-0 run. New Mexico State, they're not going to quit. They're not going to lay down. They feel like they can play with this Flyers team. They're going to keep chipping away.
It's interesting because the roles have been reversed. As Dayton going back door, freshman to freshman, Hamad Musa able to punch it home off the nice feed from Amael Latsong.
What I love most about that Musa basket is we've talked about him figuring out the offense and the defense and the flow of the game. That play came off of a read. he went back door. That wasn't a play design. He read the defense and made that backdoor cut, was able to get that basket.
Cook, nice shot fake. Long to no, but Chimanga able to get an offensive rebound. Filipovic lost it, got it back. 10 to shoot, he'll drive it. And he'll be at the line. Missing on that first free throw. Alex Michaels, Brooks Hall, 24 years ago today, you were out in Maui with the Dayton Flyers, taking on the Yukon Huskies and beating them, the 13th team in the country. And the Flyers are looking forward to that trip, but they've been in a fight here tonight, Brooks.
All I heard was 24 years ago. Why you do that to me? Come on, man. But no, that was an awesome time then, and I mean, that prestigious tournament, just to get invited, you know, the Flyers get invited out there often, and they do well. I think Dayton is 9-3, if my memory serves me correctly, on their trips out to Maui, so they handle their business when they get out there.
Nate Santos, triple number 5, as it's his first 20-point game of the season.
We talked about him, man. He can get on a heater quick, and he's knocking down shots, but Dayton as a whole, they're 6 of 8 from 3 just in this half alone. When Dayton starts knocking down shots from the perimeter, they're extremely tough to stop because they have dynamic guard play that can get to the cup. So when you've got to respect them knocking down shots from the outside, then it just opens up everything, just makes them very tough to slow down.
Nate Santos, 5 of 8 from downtown. Well, partner, you started it all, because that year in 2000, that was the first trip for the Flyers in the Maui Invitational. You guys had a big week as Cook in and out. You beat UConn, number 13 in the country. Oh, Malachi Smith-Latong at the rim.
Listen, that's just not normal what Latong does. It's not normal for a 7'1" guy to run the court, and that was a bounce pass to gather it in motion and finish the way that he does. He's a gifted young man.
He'll pick up the foul here. Boy, not just the catch, but then the understanding of not putting it on the floor, like in rhythm.
In rhythm. And you know, one thing that I love about him is he takes off. Like, he puts his head down and sprints the court. And sometimes it takes young guys a while to learn how to run the court, but he knows if I get out transition, he trusts that his teammates won't get him the basketball.
All right, so day 1, you beat UConn. Day 2, you lose the number 1 team in the country, a Final Four team in Arizona. And then day 3, Maryland, another ranked team, and they were no match. As missing is Harris. Loose ball picked up by Bennett.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great showing out there. Like you talked about, a lot of NBA guys on those teams that we played, and it was cool when we came back ranked 24th in the country to promptly lose to Marshall in Cincinnati as soon as we got home. So our excitement was short-lived, but no, man, the Maui trip is, I mean, there's nothing like it. You know, the history there, and I was blown away when you go out there. You expect, because of the prestige with the tournament, you expect something different in terms of the gym. Like, it's just a little high school gym. I mean, you walk in there and it's like a little hot box high school gym, but just the mystique and nostalgia out there, man, it was a great opportunity.
Well, and the Flyer faithful, they have packed that gym many times, even thousands and thousands of miles away. They're still there. Javon Bennett late in the shot clock. He was tripped up. And that will be the 7th team foul against the Aggies. So a 1-and-1 here for Bennett, who's slow to get up. And you hope that Javon Bennett has turned into one of the leaders on this basketball team, is able to shake that one off.
Yeah, he was able to shake it off. Kind of fell down hard. Wasn't able to really catch himself. Looked like his arm or his wrist might have got bent up. That's the last thing Dayton wants to see, or injuries starting to pile up. You know, Jacob Connor at the end of the first half he went down, kind of slipped on the ground, tweaked his ankle. Haven't seen him out. Matter of fact, he's not even on the bench right now. So Dayton is just trying to stay healthy before they go to Maui.
Boy, that's a really good observation, Brooks, Jacob Connor is not on the Flyers bench, and we hope that he's okay. Meanwhile, Jayon Simon being called upon and coming in, and there you see Bennett and what he's been able to do as a Dayton Flyer. He'll get a break
And I think the Flyer fans just happy to see back-to-back free throws go down.
It's the small things. But no, and Dayton is not going to let up on the pressure. You see right now, they're still picking up in the full court. Yeah, they've extended this lead to 19, but they're still applying pressure in the full court. That's their identity. They're not going to change who they are.
And get another turnover. Enoch Cheeks on the steal as Jackson unable to handle that double team. It's the largest lead for Dayton. New Mexico State, they've been the ones that have been in the lead a couple of times this year. Smith, the 5 and 1. Fifth foul, so he is out. And Letong cashing in at the line.
Yeah, you know, we keep talking about Letong. He had great minutes right there as he was able to give Zed Key a little breather. You know, but let's get to Nate Santos, sitting at 20 points, and that's why he was picked preseason All-A-10 first team. I mean, he has that kind of ability. A lot of people forget he missed the entire offseason rehabbing from surgery, so he's still kind of playing himself back into the flow and finding his rhythm. But it is not a lack of confidence. It's just some reps, and you see him getting more and more comfortable. And this Dayton team needs him to have nights like this often.
It's a 10-0 Dayton run. As Filipovic misses, rebound comes to Harris. He'll go back up, and a volleyball spike from Zed Key. Dayton, complete control of this basketball game. Malachi Smith looks inside. Zed Key working. Hook, no. Rebound, Simon. Extra possession. Flyers swinging around, and that's the official who was in play. But the ball will be back to the Aggies. Brooks, yeah. I know the Flyer faithful, they're not happy, but I want to talk about Zed Key. He's only got 6 points in this game. Look at this crazy play. He's only got 6 points in this game, but I don't know if I've seen somebody really kind of control things from what he's doing of New Mexico State just getting in foul trouble.
You know, when New Mexico State coming in with a 7-footer and 6'10" and all the size, you thought that they may run the paint. Zed Key has controlled the paint on both ends of the court. And because he's controlled the paint, that has allowed Dayton to play to their strength. Zed Key, as you talked about, it's not the points that he's contributing with, it's everything else. He's a big part of why the Flyers have this big lead.
Look at the defense. Santos the lob. Major Key alert.
Well, what you're seeing right now is a Dayton team that is breaking the will of New Mexico State because they're so relentless. As you see, they cause another turnover.
Enoch Cheeks, no, but Malachi Smith's there.
And we talked about it, breaking the will of New Mexico State right there. New Mexico State's not even hustling back. It's almost like they're going to quit. But I can tell you what, the Flyers are not going to quit. They're going to try to continue to run this score up.
I want to go back to Dayton's pressure. I highlighted it earlier in the half. We saw it against Northwestern. Here tonight, I think it's another great example as Cook misses on the 3. It just wears on you, right?
It does, and that's the thing. You may not turn them over early. You may not cause a lot of turnovers, but what it does, it's almost like a big running back in football. Derrick Henry, you got to tackle him for 2 or 3 quarters, and you may slow him down, but by that 4th quarter, you still got to tackle that big fella, and now he's running all over you. Same thing with the Flyers.
It's been a tough night for Zaddy Jackson, who goes off. New Mexico State, their schedule also picks up, and they'll be at UNLV in their next matchup. Santos, another 3. Missed it, but rebound, Alexander flips it, Cheeks, and he's unable to convert. Contact, but Mexico State in desperate need of a bucket.
But look at Dayton, they're still flying around. They're still attacking the glass, trying to get every offensive rebound. They're still applying pressure. They looked like they're just a trap at the half court, and that wasn't a call. That was an instinct where they had New Mexico State on the sideline. They just kind of instinctively tried to trap. Those are the things you look for when you're trying to determine how good a team can be. On paper, they've got a lot of talent, a lot of depth, but it's the little things, it's the mentality, it's the mindset that separate a good team from a great team.
Filipovic trying to get the first point for New Mexico State in 5.5 minutes, and they're finally off 41. And that also ends a 14-0 run. Pasha Alexander gets a nice round of applause from the Flyer fans. Enoch Cheeks the same as Javon Bennett and Hamad Musa return. Filipovic, he's been dealing with some injuries and really excited to get this guy at 100%. He's trying to come back from a back injury, but really excited. One of the many additions for this New Mexico State squad. Javon Bennett, 7 points, 5 assists. Second straight game with 5 helpers. Gives the key. Zed all the way to the bucket.
Hey, man, we almost saw another highlight. When he goes to the basket, he has dunk on his mind. Right there, he just decided to lay it in at the last minute, but you talked about Javon Bennett, and you're right. He's quietly put together another solid game. That was his 6th assist right there, 7 points, 6 assists in only 19 minutes.
Closeout here as Cook launches a 3, missed it. Filipovic has got it. Zed Key erases it. The Flyers are running 4-on-2. Santos at the rim. It rolls off.
But the effort, I mean, the Flyers are up 26 points, and he has Santos diving on the floor.
Cook, it's been cold here in the second half. And maybe their best three-point shooter, unable to find it. Brooks, are you surprised about this second half?
I am, and I'm not surprised. You know, Dayton has the ability to play at this level. I mean, this isn't a fluke. This is how they play. I'm surprised at New Mexico State's lack of response. You know, early on, you know, New Mexico State is one of the better teams, defensive teams in the country. You know, Dayton goes out there and is able to win a couple games. You know, now you're sitting, making the tournaments now in your hands. You just got to come back home and handle your business. So, always a great thing to go out there and get a chance to boost that resume.
Well, Dayton's going to be going out there with a lot of confidence. Big second half. Carpenter the miss. Filipovic the putback. Dayton in this second half, 43-17. That's the score after it was a 29-28 game at halftime.
Well, and that's something that New Mexico State's going to have to figure out. You know, they're holding opponents to 22 points a game. I'm sorry, 22 points a half in the first half. But then in the second half, they're giving up 42 points. So they're, you know, as you see the graphic right there. I mean, so there's something happening. I don't know if it's in that locker room or a mindset, but they've got to figure that out because they have not been able to put together 2 solid halves.
Well, Dayton's defense, they have been just outstanding. New Mexico State won for their last 13. Carpenter, though, able to come up with a steal. The Flyers trip to Maui. It'll be a trip to Vegas for this group from Las Cruces, New Mexico. Carpenter missing on the triple try. Bennett pushing. Alexander will get inside to Isaac Jack. Aggies play UNLV Saturday at 5. Alexander missing on the 3. And New Mexico State trying to find something on offense. Filipovic, he was fouled by Simon.
Filipovic he's a nice game, nice fundamental game. He's not going to overwhelm you with, you know, athleticism or speed, but very fundamental, high IQ, good footwork, just a really solid player. You know, sitting with 11 points, chance to earn a couple more, 7 rebounds. He's just been solid this entire game.
Well, and he's also coming back. He's had to deal with some injuries, but this guy has got an interesting story and trip to New Mexico. Actually has some Ohio roots. Came over from Hungary, played high school in Utah, Ohio, and then mentioned at Maine. Dayton will go to their bench, and a couple of the walk-ons, and Evan Dickey and Makai Grant, Will Maxwell, Atticus Schuler, and Brady Ewell, scholarship player, but he's going to pick up the foul here on the putback from Carpenter. Brooks, I think for Coach Grant, he's got to be really excited. And 1-point game at halftime, having a moment here in the last 2 minutes of this game to give his guys some rest.
Yeah, and I don't think that Coach Grant could have asked for a better performance heading into Maui. I mean, there's so many positives that they're going to be able to take from this game. You know, and New Mexico State is the team that looked most like what they might see in Maui in terms of the size and athleticism. Yes, they played Northwestern early on, athleticism isn't really their strength. They've got a lot of size, but they're not really an athletic team. This New Mexico State has a lot of size and athleticism. So for Dayton to handle them the way that they did, that's got to create a lot of confidence heading out to Maui.
Well, Maxwell was fouled on the baseline. He'll look for his first point as a Flyer and shooting the 1-and-1.
Now, I'm sure people heard the crowd get really excited about that last free throw missed by New Mexico State. they get chicken, right?
They get chicken.
Now, do we get chicken?
I don't think so. I don't think it's in that. That's not how that works. But I could find you maybe.
That's crazy, man. I want some leads.
Hey, Will Maxwell, he's got a bucket and 2 free throws. This is a guy, it was a fun moment the other night at the arena. Makai Grant got his first field goal. It was off a Maxwell pass that was outstanding as Filipovic able to score from in close.
Yeah, Maxwell came in dropping dimes that other night. He had a couple really nice passes, but that, I think it was a backdoor cut, I believe, off a bounce pass to Grant, and then a beautiful reverse finish for Grant's first 2 points. But Maxwell can pass that ball.
The dynamic store just down the road at Oakwood High School. Evan Dickey, he's looking for his first bucket as a Flyer. Off the glass, it rolls off. And this will be New Mexico State basketball. Hey, stay with us as after the game, we'll get you the drive of the game, the player of the game, and our play of the game. As Dayton a comfortable lead here in the final minute.
It's a lot to choose from.
Oh, yeah.
The second half had a lot of highlights.
Filipovic right now putting in some work as he's able to cut the deficit to 23. He is the top scorer for NM State. 15 points and 7 boards. Maxwell in a tight spot finds Brady Ewell. Another hometown product, Alter High School. 3-pointer no. Atticus Schuler's got it. Makai Grant at the rim. And the rebound to the Aggies.
This group that's out here, they do a great job of helping this Dayton team prepare. I mean, these guys that are on the court for the Flyers, these walk-ons, along with Ewell, the scholarship player, they all could play basketball. They all could have played it at non-Division I schools, but chose to come here and be a part of this Flyer squad, and they do a good job helping this Dayton team, the scholarship players, get prepared for games like this.
Carpenter